So we're going to talk about the periodic table and some important information on it. Now, first thing that I want to point out to you is this staircase line. So it's already on your periodic table. I'm going to make it a little darker up here so that you can see it a little bit better. So this staircase line is how we can tell our metals, our non-metals, and our metalloids from each other. So on the line are our metalloids. Now for our metalloids, we're not going to color the entire block in, all right? So don't color the whole block in, but we are going to put some dots in to represent our metalloids. So our metalloids are above and below the staircase. So it's boron, then it's silicon, arsenic, tellurium, and then coming up underneath of that line we have polonium, antimony, and germanium. Now aluminum is not a metalloid. Aluminum is a metal, so we're not going to give it a dot. And then whatever color you chose to use, I'm just going to put one down here, and then I'm going to label that as my metalloids. Alright, so those are my metalloids. Once you have your metalloids labeled, the easiest thing to label next is our non-metals. So our non-metals are to the right of our metalloids. So they start right here with carbon, and they go all the way over. So this whole little like triangle of elements. And then there's one more non-metal that's located way over here, and that is hydrogen. So we don't want to forget it. And then I'm just going to put whatever color you chose to use for that. And I'm going to label that as my non-metals. Alright, everything else is a metal. So instead of putting polka dots on everything else, all right, I'm just going to leave the metals without polka dots. So we've got our metalloids right here. Everything to the right of those metalloids are non-metals, and then we've got hydrogen right there. All right, and then everything to the left of those metalloids are my metals. So this is the first way that the periodic table can be labeled and classified as. So we can sort it out by metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Now, the next way that the periodic table is arranged is by groups and periods. We've already talked about the periods when we talked about the energy levels. So you're already familiar with the fact that the energy levels correspond to our periods, and the periods are the rows going across the periodic table, and they start here with row 1, row 2, row 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, these are the periods right, and we talked about these down here at the bottom are still a part of row 6 and a part of row 7. So they've just been taken out of there, and a matter of fact, here is where they fit in. All right, is right there between 57 and 72, between 89 and 104 is where that picks up from. All right, and then across the top, they are in groups or families. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more today, is what those families are called. So if we look in the first column, families are in columns, and we're going to start with lithium. Now, hydrogen is located in this family, but it is not actually an alkali metal, which is what this family is. But it does have properties that are similar to it. That's why it's located there. But the family actually starts with lithium. So I'm going to just shade in. I still want to be able to read the information, but I'm just going to shade in lithium and sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. And whatever color you choose to shade that one in, all right, we're going to start a key. So I'm just going to shade a spot right up there. And these are the alkali metals. All right, the alkali metals are also the most reactive metal family. So they are the most reactive metals. Right next to that, starting with beryllium and going down, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium make up the members of our next family, which is the alkaline earth metals. Our next family is rather large. it starts here with scandium and yttrium. Right? It does not include lanthanum and actinium, so we want to leave those solid white for right now. Then it picks up right here with titanium, zirconium, hafnium, and rutherfordium. Right? And then it goes all the way across all the way over here to zinc and down, cadmium, mercury, cupernicium, and back across in a complete rectangle. It also includes these in the middle of that. So this is our largest family on the periodic table. Again, it includes this whole middle section except for lanthanum and actinium. And these are the transition metals.